I guess we're ready now. The title of this little segment, broadcasting from for live or from places of worship, is a little misleading. I am a small church. The bigger churches with budgets and things like that can do a very good job with what they're doing. They have enough people. In my church, very small, we've got usually around 50 people attending each Sunday. It's an older church, so it's going to be a little bit different than your bigger churches. So my focus is on doing something with either low or no budget. I've gotten most of this stuff myself over. It's been like a period of a year. You're not going to really jump into this very quickly. You've got to be patient with it in order to get God's word out. You're going to have to let Him help you, or let Him take charge, and you just follow along. So what I've been doing over the past year has been collecting equipment. We have been live streaming. The main thing that I would like to tell people to do is just start. If you've got an iPhone or a Android phone, use it. If that's all you've got, use it. Stream to Facebook or YouTube or whatever. You can't, if you can't afford the CDNs and your own web page, don't worry about it. Just start streaming. That's what, to me, Facebook and YouTube are very good for, is to get the word out for people all over the world if they want to watch it. But mainly, to start with, it's for the homebound. You've got people in your church that can't make it physically to the church. And if you're live streaming the service, they can attend church on a Sunday morning at the same time everyone else does, but they don't have to leave their house, their hospital bed, or anything where they can't get out. Then that's the perfect thing for them. So what I'm going to show you here is something that I have been doing over, like I said, the past year. We started with a camcorder, making DVDs and giving them out to people that wanted them. We would take them to the homebound, and they could watch the service at a later time, which was fine, but it's still not the same thing as feeling like you're attending church on Sunday morning. And so we got into the live streaming. I did a one-camera stream to start with, and then I've been getting this equipment and stuff for a while. So what I'd like to show you is, this is a video that I made of my setup. Now I'm going to pause it from time to time just to show you what I'm doing. What we've got here at the top, of course, is a screen using vMix, with the output showing, and if you can see the quality of the cameras, what I'm using are security cameras. Got them off of eBay. Most of the time around $45 to $50. And there is a learning curve, but it's really worked out for me over the past several months, getting this stuff together. And there's a learning curve because I'm not real smart in this stuff. I'm just doing what I can do. Had a lot of help from the Wolves people. As a matter of fact, Martin Steed is the one that turned me on to the cameras to start with. I saw the quality is the quality of his cameras was excellent, and I fell in love with the quality of the camera. And so I started looking into it and finding out things that would work for us. And with Martin's humongous help in getting this stuff set up, it has become this. So right now what I'm using is I'm using 4 cameras. 3 of them are PoE, power over Ethernet, using this little switcher here in about the center of the picture, with all the little cables going to it, Cat 5, Cat 6 cables running to it. And it is the main thing. It is putting power over Ethernet out to 3 of the cameras. Now, I have 4 cameras, but one of them is not a PoE camera. It was a cheap, thing off of eBay, and I just tried it to see. And I've got a power plug hooked up to it so it can do it, and I'll show you here in just a second as we move out. But now for the conscious-minded, we do have a hearing assist equipment in the church here for people who have trouble hearing, hard of hearing, and they take one of these little devices that you see here and put the headphones on, and they can listen to the service just like they're sitting in the front pew. Now, these are Baptists, so everybody wants to sit in the back pew, but that's part of what it is. But we just turned this thing on, and I've got sound from the sound booth, which is probably 30 feet away. And right now, without a hard wire running to it, this is working very good for us for each Sunday for getting the sound of the preacher, the choir, and all of that into the computer. So that's what that is. And as we're going to move around here just a little bit, this in the back here is my little pegboard that I made to hook up different things. I've got my power supply thing there, and also a SDI HDMI switcher here that we're using to go to the monitors that we have mounted at the front of the church. We've got a place for a rear monitor, for a confidence monitor, but we haven't got that set up yet because we were broken into a few weeks ago, and they destroyed 2 monitors, 70-inch monitors, and they broke 2 and stole 2. So all our monitors were gone. We have since got a new monitor in, and it is working, pretty good. We're just sort of recuperating here. And that's my little pegboard. And let's see, this thing's going to come around here. Of course, I've got ever-present Dr. Pepper for me. Coming out into the vestibule and out into the sanctuary. Now, this camera here showing looks very much like the traditional security camera, and that's exactly what it is. This was donated to us by one of the members of the church, and so I put it to work. It is a PoE, a very good quality Lorax camera, and it's even got the LEDs to where you can check the church at night if you got a remote setup, which I do. And that's one camera, and it's I wish we had them for all of that, but they're a little bit more expensive than what we can afford. So then we go over to the non-PoE camera, which is here, and if you'll notice, I've just got it taped using gaffer's tape to hold it up because I don't really have a permanent mount for it yet. I'm still working on that, so this is just sort of get me by for right this second. That's a 720p instead of a 1080p camera, and it works good. Really, that was about $25. But now I want you to look here. There is a camera mounted in this window, and you can see it if you look real close. But the way we've got it set up, they're very unobtrusive, I think would be the word. They're not sticking in your face, so we're doing that. But I'm using an old style, what I call an old style bell bottom mic stand, because a tripod mic stand would take up too much footprint. a regular camera would take up, a tripod would take up too much space. But let's see, you'll see here, this is I've got it extended all the way up and adjusted. Now, these cameras that I'm using are varifocal. You have to adjust the focus on them. And then, of course, they become a static. This is not something for moving around different things. This is for mounting and leaving. And I'm going to show you here in just a second as I can move around this just a little bit. Yeah, here's a good picture right here. This is the camera. This is the varifocal Onviv security camera. And this is what I look for when I go on eBay to look for these cameras, because they're can be hard to find. But I have got 3 good ones now. What you see under that is a microphone stand adapter, and what's screwed into that is a cell phone holder that has the quarter 20 plug, a quarter 20 opening on the bottom, and the mic stand adapter is plugged into that or screwed into that, and then the spring-loaded cell phone holder is what's holding the camera in. Now, this is, it's not a professional installation, but it's all I could afford. So that's where we at right there. And it seems to work pretty good. Yeah, I've even got fancy graphics. I don't have Mike Binky's set up here. I wish I did. But this is, then we come down the mic stand. As you can see, I didn't show it there, but it's a round bell base, and it just sits in the window perfectly. So it works for what we're doing. And now what you see here on the right under the clock is our sound booth. And my room is to the left over here with the little louvers and stuff. So there's a difference there between the two that we're working on bridging. We've got cables run back and forth. We just haven't got everything set up for it. Now, what I'm about to show you here is the vMix itself, and the picture quality. It's kind of hard to show this on the screen unless you've got full screen. You'll be able to see. But this is me switching. Now, this is with 4 cameras, and I have got them set up. That's our monitor. But I've got them set up with different scenes or different shots so that those 4 cameras look like I can make them look like 8 or 10 shots. I've got it set up for the piano, the organ player, the full room, zoomed in for the preacher. I've got one shot set up just for the choir, and it works out pretty good. And one more thing I think I showed down here. Yeah, here it is. This is a cord control. Now I think it's Nano Control 2. Got this off of eBay for about, I'm thinking $15-20. And it's a MIDI controller. And I set this up, and I can use the buttons just like any other MIDI controller, and set up shortcuts, activators, and all kind of thing for my vMix. And just like Mike Binky a while ago, I've got to take a swallow of something because I'm not used to talking so much. But this little Nano Control works very good for for a simple church setup. We don't go in with a whole lot of graphics. I do use some overlays with vMix, with the preacher, and introducing different speakers and all of that. So vMix is perfect for what we're doing here. And let's see here. Yeah, bring my ugly face back in here. But that's what I've got set up for the church. Let me look over here and see if there is sloppy job on Tommy's brick wall. Listen, that is a perfect brick wall. I don't know. I think Amnon must have said that, but it's not going out. Can you guys hear me? Let me see a show of hands. Got you. Cable management. Yes, you're right. It actually looks better now since I filmed that. But yeah, cable management is pretty bad in this video. And yes, I did borrow a keyboard from another computer and mouse and brought in. And yeah, it does look like I'm in here gaming, but I'm trying to do the live stream. And let's see, John Thompson says, wonder what gaffer tape budget is. What the gaffer tape budget is. And I've had that roll of gaffer tape for I don't know how long. Thank you, Robin. I didn't know if I was getting out because Amnon's been known to lie to me. Let's see. Wipe the dead bug off. Now, Amnon, you've got to understand, I'm the troll here. You're not supposed to be doing that. That's for me. So I don't know if there's any other questions. I'm 15 minutes short, so I may just have to sit here and tell jokes for this. Dave, are you there?
I'm here, Tommy. I'm here.
Okay.
Am I going to be your straight man?
Excuse me?
Am I going to be the straight man?
Yeah, I guess. No. I don't know. Does anybody have any questions about this little, like I said, very economical. I am not your typical church setup for live streaming. Most churches, your bigger churches are going to. But what I'm trying to do is for a small church. And I firmly believe that the small church should be able to set up and get the word out just as much as any other church. It just takes people that want to do it. You know, we've got to be able to get the church outside those four walls. Okay. Mike wants to know, how are we distributing? Right now, we're distributing to Facebook on Sunday Morning Live. And I'm trying to get started with at least recording to YouTube. And I'm doing the sermon itself to YouTube. And then the whole production of church service from 11 till 12, doing it on Facebook. And I don't know why, but they have not bothered us. We do have a CCLI license for church music, but now that's church music played live. They do play an occasional canned music song, and I've been expecting the Facebook police to come down and, drop down with the helicopters and stuff and put a stop to it, but they haven't done that yet. So I'm just waiting till they see. But I will have a list, or I have emailed Giles and Rudy and Dave a copy of the links to all the stuff that I've got here. So, I'm hoping that'll be posted into the show notes later on. And so we'll just have to wait and see. But if anybody has any troubles, you can email me. I'm talapon@yahoo.com. TALAPAWN. Or if the links are still up after Streamfest, go on to the Streamfest page and click under my picture, and that will forward a picture to me. Forward an email to me. So that's I'm hearing people.
Hey, Chris, could you mute your microphone, please?
Chris Walton here.
Chris, can you mute the microphone, please?
Yep.
Thanks. I think we have Mr. Kiwi Chris has audio now, so
Yeah.
If you're running
That's
short,
good.
Tommy, we can have him come in and say a few words explaining what he showed us a while ago.
Let me answer the couple of questions here.
Sure,
and I'll
absolutely.
get off. I am using, we started off with 1 meg upload, and that didn't work very good. But we finally got the powers to be with the money, and now we are at 5 meg upload, sometimes 10, and I'll use every bit of it if I can. But I can usually do about 720p at 2.5 bit rate, and it works pretty good. Now I do cut it down a little bit because when I start doing the YouTube, I've got to bring that to where it all adds up. So let's see, staying online with your stream, that is a problem sometimes. But the service provider is Verizon cable, and that's best we can do. So okay, you want to bring in Chris, because I think I'm done. I'll try to answer any questions in the chat, and I thought maybe I had more to say here, but I'm old and I'm feeble, and I just sort of run out of words every once in a while. I know that's hard for you to believe.
You covered quite a bit of stuff there, Tommy. I think it's a pretty thorough presentation you had there. So Jim Moline has a question. What are you specifically using the MIDI for?
The MIDI, I can actually use the MIDI because it does have faders for audio, but since I don't change audio that much with what we're doing, everything is pretty much set week to week. But the buttons I can use, I can play the overlays and switch cameras if I want to. And Martin is, I see what his remark is, and I'm not even going to bring that up. So if you're not in the chat, good. No, Martin, I'll say this, when you hear Martin was a huge help to me in getting this thing started. So it's worked out pretty good. So if you want to bring in Chris now, we can do that.
I can do that. I'm going to go ahead and run the outro for you. And
I want to thank everyone for listening and taking your time to pay attention here. So,
okay.
Bye.
Thanks, Tommy.